Fantastic Beasts, The Secrets of Dumbledore is the third installment in the Fantastic Beasts series and stars an ensemble of people including Mads Mikkelsen as Grindelwald, our third Grindelwald in 3 movies. In an effort to thwart Grindelwald's plans of raising pureblood wizards to rule over all non-magical beings, Albus Dumbledore enlists his former student, Newt Scamander, who agrees to help, though he's unaware of the dangers that lie ahead. Lines are drawn as love and loyalty are tested, even among the truest friends and family, in an increasingly divided wizarding world. I'm going to be quite honest with you guys, I really did like the first Fantastic Beasts movie, thought it was a really cool, one-off thing. Where I was like, okay, there's these really cool beasts, like the Niffler is like the ultimate thing that I want. And the Niffler makes his grand return in this movie, just because he was sidelined in the second one. Even though he was in it. It was just a movie that I still felt had the magic and the fun that the Harry Potter series had. And then came Crimes of Grindelwald, which I thought was an absolute travesty. I liked it on first viewing, but not nearly as much as the first one. But on subsequent viewings, it has decreased in quality significantly. So I was really hoping that the third one would bring the series back to respectability, especially since the writer of many of the Harry Potter movies, all but one Harry Potter movie actually, Steve Kloves, came in, was hired at the last minute as a co-writer on this movie to help J.K. Rowling flesh out the script a little bit more. And I can say that Fantastic Beasts, The Secrets of Dumbledore, is a step up from the second one. This movie at least has a plot. It's like going from Transformers Revenge of the Fallen to Dark of the Moon. I prefer Revenge of the Fallen because I remember Revenge of the Fallen more, but looking at those 2 movies, it's like Revenge of the Fallen doesn't even have a plot. It's just a hodgepodge of nonsense. And then Dark of the Moon at least has a plot. That's kind of how it feels from Crimes of Grindelwald. It's The Secrets of Dumbledore for me. So I feel like the work that Steve Kloves did on the script to hammer out an actual story and an actual plot for this movie worked well in the end. I'm assuming that was probably what his script duty was. This movie also has a much darker and mature tone to it. And for a lot of people, that's going to be a no-go. They're going to be like, nope, we want the magic and the fun back. And yeah, I do miss that. And that is a problem that I have, that there isn't as much magic or fun with this movie, or the last one especially. For what they were going for, the darker tone worked. Like, I could see how this is going to be probably the darkest movie of the Fantastic Beasts series, if we get any more at this point, because allegedly they might not even make 4 and 5, who knows. James Newton Howard once again delivers a very whimsical, magical score that just injects life and energy into many scenes that feel very lifeless, and I'll talk about that a little bit with the direction of David Yates. His score is really great. I've always loved his Fantastic Beasts theme. I think it really evokes that John Williams, Harry Potter musical cues that we've been accustomed to with this series by now. And let me talk about Mads Mikkelsen as Grindelwald. I actually really liked him. And this is nothing against Johnny Depp, because Johnny Depp is a great actor, and it's an unfortunate situation that he was put in. But for me, Johnny Depp didn't really embody Grindelwald. And that's not really Johnny Depp's fault, I don't think. I think it was just the way Grindelwald was written in Crimes of Grindelwald, because what crimes did Grindelwald commit? Somebody tell me, please. He killed a baby, that's it. Alright. But when I look at Johnny Depp as Grindelwald, I'm like, he looks like the Mad Hatter from the Tim Burton Alice in Wonderland movies. Like, Johnny Depp's Grindelwald, the look of him just looks straight out of a Tim Burton movie. And I get that this series is full of human beings and creatures that look strange and different and all that, but I at least bought Mads Mikkelsen more as Grindelwald. I think he just has more of that menacing vibe to him than Johnny Depp does. Again, nothing against Johnny Depp. It's just an unfortunate situation that he was put in. If you were going to fire anybody, you should have fired that kid, but it is what it is. But I really did enjoy Mads Mikkelsen. I enjoyed Jude Law as Dumbledore. The visual effects for the series remain top-notch. There is not one single moment where I felt like, okay, that's completely obvious green screen, and there's rumors going around that this movie was filmed completely in front of green screens and on sets in front of green screens and not on location. If that is the case, I couldn't tell. So yeah, I guess the visual effects are still working for this series. But when it comes to the rest of the movie, it's really, really dull. The direction from David Yates just feels really dull, especially in the action set pieces. They feel really short, and they just feel really lifeless. There's no energy. You can tell David Yates is getting really tired of this, and it seems like he's doing a favor to Warner Brothers to keep this entire world alive. Unfortunately, this movie still caters to its predecessor's worst tendencies. We still have a bunch of subplots in here that go along with the main plot that think that they're looping around and coming back, but it's like, in the end, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, a lot of this shit I don't even care about. There's this subplot with Credence. I don't care about this whatsoever. There are certain things in this movie that lead you to believe that they're not going to be important, but they end up being important. And I'm like, this is not interesting to me. This is not intriguing at all. Therefore, I feel like this is just dull. And the entire plot of this movie revolves around a wizarding election and wizarding campaigns for this election. I'm like, I don't know. What is this? Is this the Wizarding World, or is this the Ides of March? I have no idea. I'll get into more of it in a spoiler review. But needless to say, I just didn't find myself invested in the story at all. I just thought it was kind of another throwaway story. It's like, meh, whatever. You know, I mean, it came and went. What this movie also does is damage control. There are a lot of things in this movie where they're like, okay, people didn't like a lot of what we did in the Crimes of Grindelwald. We're going to try and fix that and make it better. And they try and fix it, but I think they make it worse. Like, for instance, Queenie is she's broken. Yeah, as a character, she is broken. There is no fixing the best character from the first movie. Queenie is just done. Like, they tried fixing it. It didn't work. They just made it worse. Credence, I mean, yeah, there's a retcon there too, and I'm like, yeah, no, I don't like Credence. I never liked Credence as a character. I don't care in the slightest. You're trying so hard to sell me on this retcon, and I don't buy it. But I think one of the biggest issues I have with this movie and the last movie in particular is that we just have a set of characters here that aren't main characters. In the first movie, we had Newt, Tina, Jacob, and Queenie. That was our quadrio. Is that how you say a group of four? That's what I'm going to say. And it seemed like, okay, if none of them are going to return, at least Newt Scamander is going to be a constant in the series. So maybe Newt Scamander is going to be the main character of this entire Fantastic Beasts series. But for some reason, in the Crimes of Grindelwald, J.K. Rowling had the gall to bring all of them back when they weren't even needed. And they do it again in this movie. And I just thought to myself, I'm like, none of these characters serve this story all that well. And there's so many characters that we go back and forth with that it's so hard to tell who the main characters are. Everybody acts as a supporting character in this movie. Same with Crimes of Grindelwald. That's why that first movie worked so well, because we had that set of four characters that were the main characters that we followed throughout the entire movie. What made the Harry Potter movies and books so good was that we had Harry Potter, Ron Weasley, and Hermione Granger as the main characters. That trio were the ones carrying out the tasks. They were the main characters. The supporting characters were the ones that were helping them on their journey or giving them advice. But no matter what, they were the ones that we followed around. In these two movies, you're just following everybody around. So it just becomes a hodgepodge of characters that make the story feel a lot more convoluted than it actually is. I give this movie credit for actually sticking to a story and focusing less on subplots, even though those are still prominent. The recasting of Grindelwald actually worked in its favor. It's still got great production values and great visual effects. I still love James Newton Howard's score, but almost everything else about the movie is just really dull. It is definitely a step up from Crimes of Grindelwald, but for people saying that this is as good or better than the first movie, I'm not having it. I'm going to go slightly higher in my grade for this movie than I did for Crimes of Grindelwald, and it's going to be a letter grade. I'm going to give Secrets of Dumbledore a C+. So if you guys have seen The Secrets of Dumbledore, what did you think about it? Drop me some feedback in the comment section below. I'll leave my link to my website in the description below as well. I want to talk a little bit more in depth about the movie, about some things I didn't necessarily like all that much, or some things I did like a little bit more than I thought I was going to. Stay tuned for a spoiler review very soon. You guys are the best. Thank you for watching. My name is Alex Madden, and I'll see you at the movies somewhere.